Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. All right, man. It's time for the NBA playoffs. We're going to save draft commentary for Wednesday of next week, as the draft is Thursday. Hopefully we get some tea to spill, and hopefully we get a good guest to join.
I did Google how far of a drive it is to Pittsburgh. Not too far.
Yeah.
Also, of all the things I've ever wanted to do, and it's funny because this came up yesterday.
Great
real
baseball
quick,
stadium, though, to see
real
there.
quick. Oh God, I've been there. It's a lovely area, lovely town. But real quick aside, because we were talking about Ryder Cup and it's coming to Hazeltine in a few years, and I've always heard it's not that great of a viewing experience being there because the crowds are so big and it's hard to see anything. And honestly, looking at like a draft, it'd be like, oh, we could go to the NFL draft. Like looking at where the people are for the draft, it's just like it's like Lollapalooza. There's like 80,000 people just standing there, and you're waiting 25 minutes for someone to come up on stage, and then you get to boo Goodell a couple times. I'm like, I don't want to go do that at all.
Fernando Mendoza is not even going.
Minnesota did put in a request to do it in a couple years. If it's just up the road for me, I'll go. But
even the coolest setup they ever potentially had was the Vegas one, and that ended up being a fizzle.
Yeah,
we're gonna set up boats in the fountain of the Bellagio, and we're like, all right, whatever.
Do you remember that tweet? Because they're like, someone's like, oh, they're gonna have old white. And in quotes, owners have these young black players and have them delivered on boats. The optics there, not great.
Optics not great.
I didn't think of that. That harkens back to something terrible.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, don't have a ton of really good bets on the NFL draft yet. Although I did tell you, I gave up.
Those days are behind us.
Well, I gave up, and I was actually pleasantly surprised at the amount of liquidity on Kalshi. I'm into a good amount of stuff there now.
I think it's going to be prediction markets only, and it's going to be taking some shots on some longer shots. A lot of dog prices.
Just hoping that they resolve in your favor, even if it's truly correct anyway.
But we are most of the way
basketball.
Most of the way through the play-in tournament, which is fun. We started with an absolute banger in the Southeast Conference, Southeast Division.
Yeah, might be the best playoff game we get.
Honestly, they've all been kind of fun. I've caught some of it. Nothing today, right? And then Charlotte, Orlando tomorrow, Golden State at Phoenix for in the 7. It's like a 7-10. I think Golden State was a 10, weren't they?
Yes, they were. I don't want to talk about the play-ins because I am getting destroyed. I'm already down 6-7%, and the playoffs haven't started, so I don't feel great. And it's especially annoying because I'm firing with all kinds of confidence the first weekend of the playoffs because the play-in usually goes well. I had
an hour of advice from you.
I had a boatload of under in the Hornets game, and I was like, let's just resolve this in regulation, guys. No,
they did not.
We gotta go to overtime. All right. And then had a boatload of over, 4 points of CLV in that Philadelphia Orlando over, and in the third quarter it just turned into a flat out rock fight. Very weird. Anyway, I think I also had the Suns who collapsed. Didn't really have anything in
they didn't cover.
Warriors game. And the Warriors game, though, we did see some vintage Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Al Horford. It was literally like bringing out the olds for one last run. It wasn't something else. Anyway.
I made a bunch of questions for you because I have questions for you. And I haven't talked NBA with you at all. We're kind of still in off-season mode where we're just, sparsely sending some messages back and forth once in a while. We're not. It's not like the NFL where we're talking every day.
Sure.
Because I just don't give a shit about the NBA nearly to the factor that I love the playoffs. the finals, the drama. Best of 7 is so fun in these other sports. But that said, I think the soccer people stole this. I believe this was an NBA saying first. They, you know what, we run around for 48 minutes.
Yes.
Two teams run around for 48 minutes, and then they give the Thunder the trophy. I think soccer took that and reused it, but it was.
I remember it from soccer. It used to be. Yeah, they dribble the ball around for 90 minutes, and then Germany wins. Yeah.
Then you dribble the ball for 48, and then they give Red Auerbach the title.
I got it. Okay.
That's how far back it goes. Or they give George Mikan the title.
I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that was the origin of.
I'm lying. I'm lying to you. Either way, the Thunder, plus 110, plus 115? That is
short.
I mean, just that's a hell of a price considering they got to win a bunch of basketball for that to happen. I mean, not only just how many series you have to win to get there, but the risk of injury between now and then, the variance that can happen. I guess that is part of the, I said I love best of 7. I love these long series. It's so much fun going back and forth with two teams, especially when you get a couple banger series every year. But that's part of the deal. It's like, hey, the Thunder are healthy.
Yeah,
and they're amazing. And
we have too many players, honestly.
That's
the big question for them.
Best of 7 doesn't help like the other teams at this point. This is like, well, what if they have a bad game? Yeah, we need them to have 3.5 bad games.
Yeah, the big questions swirling about the Thunder are literally whose minutes do they reduce? These guys are all so good. Tough calls for Daigneault. He's like, I'm too full for another round of.
My lobster's too buttery. My steak
buttery.
Too tender.
It's like I've had It's like they're at the carniceria and they're turning down amazing cuts of meat because they're just too full. Anyway,
I just pictured the Old Country Buffet training video guy.
Yeah,
cutting the meat. Hey, did you catch the game?
Yeah.
I know you have futures. I know you have bets. I know you have thoughts. Let's wipe away your slate. You have no bets. What is your actual price for the Thunder to win the title right now compared to market?
I'm a minus number. I have most of my series books. My book for this at this point now is Monster, and I've got all kinds of different series prices built out. I'm at 133, minus 133 for the Thunder. And a huge amount of that equity swung on the last day of the season when the Spurs lost to the Nuggets in a game that consequentially hurt the Spurs badly and gifted a huge. It hurt both the Spurs and the Nuggets. And it really helped the Thunder, which was hilarious. We got ourselves a pretty good Western Conference Finals on tap. We might have ourselves a good Finals on tap, depending on who comes through. But if somebody does beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think it's probably because something about obviously the chances for injury for Shea are not zero. They're low, but they're not zero. And then the chances for there's still not a lot of really great offensive weapons on this team. Like Holmgren's your second best offensive player. Jalen Williams' offensive rating is well under what it was this time last year, but that's just because he hasn't played very much.
Well, that's also too. You haven't seen I think if you're Daigneault going into the season, you just kind of know hey, we can fiddle fuck around for 6 months and end up with the top 3 seed. With SGA can play 30 games, we'd probably end up there. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, have we seen the playoff rotations? Have we seen the playoff effort?
Yeah.
It could be your number could be short. So your number implies your number implies 57-ish%.
Let's put this in historical context.
Market's like 48.
Let's put this in historical context. We've lived in our betting and podcasting lives, I feel like, through bigger favorites at this point.
I was gonna say, I feel like that one Dubs team was like minus 115 to start the playoffs.
I think they were shorter.
And that was the year they didn't win it, right?
No, well, the year that Durant did his Achilles. That was year they were probably minus 115. The year that they survived the scare against the Rockets.
Yeah.
That Dubs team was plus 110 in October. I know for sure. I was like, I got all this Bitcoin sitting around. Bitcoin's just going to go up. You know what? I'll just park it in this.
I'll park it in the
yeah. I'll park it in this. And I remember sitting through that and sweating that game 7 against the Rockets where they missed all those threes. So it was, that was something. But yeah, we've absolutely lived through a type of, let me see,
it's not unprecedented. And I mean, to the people that were looking for, hey, what should I bet for futures? What should I bet in the NBA? That doesn't mean it's going to be a boring playoffs that you can't make some money on. Because there's
surely not.
7 other first round series. There's series handicaps. There's series totals.
Yeah.
There's game by game stuff. You can be betting props. Like, you can still have a lot of fun. And at the end, just watch the Thunder win 4-1 against whoever.
Yeah. Last year, the Celtics were your favorite on the eve of, and it was plus 190-ish. They were fading down the stretch, though. Yeah, no, what was years we're thinking of here with
Are you asking me?
With Golden State? 17?
Sounds right.
Let's see here. The Golden State Warriors at the All-Star break. In the 2018-2019 season, the Golden State Warriors were minus 210 at the All-Star break. Minus 225 on April 1st. That was the year that they ultimately lost to the Raptors. Yeah, so there you go. That was the 3rd year of them trying to three-peat, and the previous year they were minus 182 coming down the home stretch. But ultimately came through cleanly. They were fucking hell. I forgot they were minus 1,000 in the finals against the LeBron and J.R. Smith team. The year before, Golden State, when they got Durant and it was like a super team and you knew it come middle of December, that team was minus 173 in round 1. So we're far from there, which is to say, I mean, the market is far from there. I think we're closer there. To me, this Thunder team really did prove a lot last year in terms of understanding how to get through some hard-fought series. I think the last year's team, if last year's Thunder was so wildly respected by the market by the time we got to the finals, I would still make this year's Thunder team about a 3-point favorite on a neutral over that year's Thunder team, largely because SGA is better and they're somehow deeper, even though Jalen Williams has taken maybe a small step backwards and Chet Holmgren didn't take the step forward that was expected. It's still an unbelievably well-rounded team. And I'm excited to see how they ultimately decide to, populate their minutes. They got plenty of time to figure that out. I put the over-under on Thunder games lost in the Western Conference playoffs at
1.5,
2.5, probably. It could be 2, it could be 3. It's not going to be any round 1. It's not going to be any round 2, probably. So literally, like, how many games will the Spurs and or Nuggets win? 2 or 3. Maybe one other weird gentleman's sweep in the second round. Who knows? But they're just an outstanding team in every way. They have
the Timberwolves are always, if they end up against Minnesota in the playoffs, is a weird team. They always have some outsized win. Remember when they beat the Nuggets by 1 trillion in that one game?
I do.
And even against Memphis that one year, it's like, man, this team's so good. And then the next day they just get the shit kicked out by Memphis.
Yep.
All right. Again, just question mark for you. Wiping out your futures book, you're sitting here with nothing. You're saying it's a value bet, not by a ton, but enough. Like I said, you're implied it's 57%. Market's a little under 50, 48, 49. if you had to bet it, would you bet that plus 115, or would you find another way to back the Thunder at this point?
SGA for Finals MVP is a better bet. He should be 100% of the equity. What's that number? Do you see it?
I don't know. I hadn't looked
right
at
it's been up and down on Bookmaker. It should be 100% of the Thunder equity. I don't think there's any world where the Thunder are winning the finals and he doesn't have
on the back of Chet Holmgren.
Yes, exactly. That's a tough ask. Yeah, it's a tough ask. I just don't see it. So yeah.
All right.
SGA in there. Did you find any? Or it's not up
I'm
anywhere?
looking. I'm actually looking right now. It's not up at Bet Online, or I'm going to check Bet Online now to see if
Bookmaker didn't have it up. It was up.
There's a lot of stuff up all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, there's not much to say other than the Thunder's defense is exactly as good as it was last year, and now their most important offensive player is even better. So I'm expecting great things. They learned from some hard-fought series last year. I will say this though: the West was not as strong last year, particularly in hindsight. Like the challengers in the West all had clear flaws and or dealt with serious injuries in the playoff runs. Meanwhile, this year's West teams are pretty full strength, particularly Nuggets, Spurs, and also the idea of having any kind of real serious conviction on what the ceiling of the Spurs is pretty silly because they could level up. They are kind of in that teenager in the teenager in the semifinals at Roland Garros women's side of the draw where she doesn't know any better that she's not supposed to be this good this soon, and she's playing with house money. Like that could be where the Spurs are.
Some 17-year-old girl from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, just blasting. Yeah.
Nothing up on Bet Online, although I can bet LeBron to retire at 5-1.
I don't think he's going to retire. Do you think he's going to retire?
No, he's got a couple more left in him. Which is crazy.
He's still a plus player.
He's got no teammates, but he is still getting after.
In this year's playoffs,
I will see if it's up anywhere else. Most of the places just have East, West, and Championship. Eventually, here I think once we get the play-in tournament completely done, we'll end up with some of those series. What do you call them? Series handicaps, series totals. I do like those a lot, Quest.
Cool.
The prices are up. I mean, you get series prices for 6 of the 8 right now. But, God, what was my next question? Oh, did you look at futures at all? I mean, just basically, did you compare your future? And I know it's going to be probably hard for you to find value in the Western Conference betting against your Thunder.
I have a tiny bit of value. But
that's what I'm saying.
A better way to attack it.
Did anything pop up on either side as far as hey, there's a little value on a long shot here. It might just sprinkle a little.
Yeah, Timberwolves are 630, 63-35. So almost 64-1, roughly.
Plus, Ant playing with a chip on his shoulder. They denied his.
I saw that. He did not get his grievance.
That's going to be our next point. That was unscheduled, but I thought about that today.
The Timberwolves are plus 630, plus 63-35. The Nuggets are plus 802. That is a Grand Canyon of a gap. And I don't think that is true. But the problem is if they're going to be disrespected to this degree, then you could probably roll over their current series price. It's come down a little, but it's still a big number. God damn.
Feels like you could go put some more money on Kalshi.
Plus 273. Oh yeah, so you can get the hell out of it when they run
because it's one of those hey, this is great value, and it wins 1 out of 30 times.
That sounds right to me. So plus 273 right now. So let's say 3.73 times against the Spurs, they would probably be about plus 450. So 5.5 times Against the Thunder, they're going to be about plus 80. So we'll say 9.8. That rollover of those 3 series gets you to 201 to 1. So you could presumably get the Timberwolves at 200 to 1.
Look at, I made a poll.
Rollover. And just to get to the finals, let alone taking them to win outright at 60. What do you think of that?
It just says who win. Yeah,
Who win?
you know, the rollover.
Type 1 or 2.
type each number, one number equal one prayer. Remember that?
Okay.
You could one prayer hands equals one prayer. I'm just playing with the new things on StreamYard. Yeah, the rollover, or like you said, if you get in on a prediction market, then you could buy your way out, or just take something on the no, or take the other side. But the Anthony Edwards thing is interesting because I saw someone butthurt about it, and people who are butthurt on gambling Twitter usually are in the wrong. It's like fuck you, don't be stupid. I'm sorry. You know, the big story from earlier in this week is somebody got scammed out of a bunch of money because they bet through someone they'd never met on gambling Twitter using them as like an agent. It's like, oh, weird. This happens every 6 months since I've freaking remembered learning to read on gambling Twitter. This is not a new phenomenon. This is a cycle.
Everyone has to learn the hard way. That's someone
weird. And I think you would be a good one to ask about this because you're just keeping up with the NBA news and chatter and everything else a lot more. Did they say anything about this appeal process? Like, when did that first come about? Because the gripe is, hey, I'm estimating that this player will not be eligible for an award, and I'm betting because of that, because this guy is almost certainly going to take himself out of the equation because of the games he's missed, and the numbers are wrong because of that. And then at the end of the season, Silver just comes back and says, well, a couple of these guys, we're going to throw them back in the pot. And to be fair, they probably weren't terribly wrong about, you know, the reasoning to give it back. But for the sports betting side of it, it is kind of a Jesus. I wish I knew you could do that. I maybe wouldn't have made that bet.
I wouldn't have put Luka all NBA no. Damn.
Yeah, I know. No, exactly. Sure. And I don't know.
Sure.
When was the first time that you heard about this appeal process? Because for me, it was
2 days after
yesterday.
The Luka injury. Yeah, 2 days after the Luka injury, probably.
Okay.
I did not know that they had appeals in years past. I knew that.
I was going to say, has this been a thing for years or just
like
this year?
They put the tracks down for the Luka thing right away, and they were literally like 2 of his missed games. He was being there for the birth of his child. You know, like those shouldn't count. You know, and it's like
maybe.
Right. What about the 2 games he missed where he just was, you know, like
family man Luka.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I did not know there was going to be this appeals process. And yeah, apparently you know what the dumbest part of the appeals process was, Andy? They didn't let them appeal until the last day of the season. Like, you literally they weren't allowed to even like hear and grant them right away, right? Like Luka could have just appealed the minute he got hurt, but they were like, no, you must wait until the last game of the season and all the facts are in. It's like, all right, this is quite silly. So yeah, no, I was surprised by that. Anyway, the general kind of futures long-term outlook is it's worth noting that the Thunder are short. I think the Timberwolves are short, but there's a better way to attack it. And then the Eastern Conference is a little bit of a surprising mess. I don't really know if you've caught wind of this, but Jason Tatum is playing. He has returned from his Achilles injury.
I was going to say it was a catastrophic injury, and I remember when it happened. I think we talked about it on like a Daily Show or something, and we said like,
"Oh, sure.
Hey, when's he going to play again?"
Yeah, I don't know.
And we're like, like May.
Yeah, I know. It turns out it was March, and he's been playing well from my perspective in terms of what he adds to the championship potential for the Celtics. But for some reason, not a lot of people sticking their necks out with the Celtics team. And I have a theory. You ready for this? Everyone talking themselves into the Cavs or the Pistons. Good luck. You had the same information everyone else did. You were reading the same tweets, listening to the same podcasts where the speculation about the return of Jason Tatum was pretty loud in December, and the prices on the Celtics to win the East were plus 880, and you didn't take it at the time, and now you are specifically doing mental gymnastics to try to find some other outcome here than you stared at a impossibly good price and let it drift away from you. Because the Celtics, honestly, it's rare that that a major sports futures book has this type of the price was just flat out wrong for a really long time of the season. I'm not saying that there's not absurd stuff that happens. Like the Pacers winning last year were probably, there were probably people with huge prices on that, but not like the conference championship price for the Celtics type of stuff. I'm pretty surprised that that this wasn't a more captured potential for price shifting.
So a little bit of, a little bit of if the Celtics are this good and maybe should even be shorter compared to the price you're seeing now, are the Pistons just the softest one seed in a while? I mean, I love them. They're fun. I've caught a couple Pistons games by accident, and a lot of fun players. And you do have to earn a one seed. You have to win a shitload of basketball games over the course of 8 to 10 months. I can't tell you how long the regular season, and it feels like that. But I mean, what's your fare on the Pistons?
I'm a little higher market on that.
So even just to win the,
I think they should be this. I think they should be the second choice here.
Okay.
Personally, my fare has the Cavs as slight favorites in a 1-4 matchup, but I'm not going to bet them. There is just, I guess here's a fun exercise. You ready?
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. You heard of him? Good player.
Yeah.
Right? By many, I don't think anyone would argue he is not a top 10 player. Would you agree with that?
I have him as my 17th best player in my
That's
player
insane.
rankings.
That's absolutely insane.
You think that's too high?
Too low. Donovan Mitchell?
Oh,
What's the end, Darko?
I don't take injured players out though.
Oh, okay. So he's right behind Anthony Davis for you. I'm trying to think of who could possibly be in the mix there. Donovan Mitchell is
we're putting Tatum back
10.
in.
Donovan Mitchell's top 10. If you want to split hairs between he's 6th, he's 9th, whatever, fine. But he's a top 10 player.
I don't actually have player rankings.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Whatever.
No.
The point I was trying to make here, he's been around a while, right?
Yeah.
You remember some big Donovan Mitchell playoff moments? Yeah. He's been the 1 seed multiple times. Cavs 1 seed, Jazz 1 seed. He's played a lot of playoff games.
I forgot about Jazz 1 seed.
He's been in a lot of playoff games. Give me a guess off the top of your head. His career playoff winning percentage.
492.
Well, now why would you guess below 500? First round of the playoffs are so easy. Are you going to stick with that?
Seeds. No, I'm going to have to go higher. I'm not very good at guessing today. 628.
It is 444. You were on the right
Damn
side.
It! You tricked me.
To begin with. You threw
me. You threw me for
seriously, how ridiculous is that Donovan Mitchell has a losing record in the playoffs? considering he's been a 1 seed and he's been on some great teams. Like, it's crazy. And specifically, like, I've had this theory brewing for quite a while, which is like, he is unequivocally an outstanding player. His contributions are primarily on the offensive side of the ball, but he's a smaller guy and he plays a lot of regular season minutes. And I think once we get to the playoffs, he has a difficult time carrying the offensive load for a team that desperately needs him. And that was what the Jazz were. And that's, to a lesser extent with Harden on the court, that's who the Cavs are. And so I think there's 100% a world where at some point in this playoffs, round 2, Eastern Conference Finals, whenever, that the Cavs are literally like, stand around watching Donovan Mitchell, stand around hoping James Harden doesn't have some sort of crisis of conscience, right? Like, there's absolutely... I mean,
his role though right now, it isn't like James Harden Thunder, you know.
James Harden's role is not. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true. But like that said,
still not betting on like a James Harden team.
And actually, you know what's funny? Jay, you want to guess James Harden's playoff record?
Jeez,
for fun.
I mean, those Thunder teams were good, but they never. 582.
Oh, you're super close there. Yeah. He was. Oh no, you went high. He's 90 and 83.
So what's that, like 53%?
90 over 173 is 52%.
He's not even covering the 10%.
Yikes. Yeah, that's right. He's not even covering the vig. All right. So like I guess where my head is at is like
do LeBron.
His number's crazy.
I want you to guess.
Oh,
it's
do you have
so
it up?
many. It's no, but it's so many games.
Okay.
I couldn't even think because there's so many seasons. They've won titles. To win
I'm gonna
a title,
guess LeBron's playoff record is 243 and 148. 243 and 148.
I'm thinking he's around 62%.
I'm pulling numbers completely out of my ass.
It's so many games, so I don't even know if I think
he's played like 400 playoff games. He's played so many playoff games.
That's a lot of games.
His career playoff record, LeBron, is
I'm going 62%.
184 and 108. 184 and 108. So 184 over 292. He is, oops, I fucked that up. 184 over 292 is 63% winning, probably.
I was still low.
Yeah, winning percentage in the playoffs.
Just shitload of games.
It's a shitload. It certainly is. That doesn't even count as playing games. Anyway, to me at least, like the Cavaliers have an Achilles heel of at some point in the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell will wear down. And at that point, if James Harden cannot pick them up, then, you know, another crash out with kind of the offense stagnating in a playoff series feels entirely possible. And, you know, I'm not going to be sad if the Cavs finally do achieve something with this core, because I like watching all of these players play basketball, and I would love to see the Thunder Cavs actually have like a cool tilt of a finals. But I'm not betting on it. I'm not going out on a limb with these clowns. No way.
So, I mean, back to the futures question. Did you show any value in the East?
My numbers say the Celtics
Cleveland
should be a little bit shorter, and my numbers say the Pistons should be a little bit shorter, but not by much. Cavaliers and Pistons should ultimately have about the same price, in my opinion. Their neutral ratings are about the same. And I think that second round of the playoffs pricing is going to be anywhere between like minus 160 and minus 110. My fare is kind of hovering around minus 140. By the way, just when we're talking about series prices and prices in general, I'm going to round to the nearest 10 cents just because it's, I hate kind of implying that I have precision to the nearest penny on these prices, because I don't. So I've rounded everything to the nearest 10 cents.
You don't need precision. You just need to be directionally
correct. That's exactly right.
Correct.
That's on the deep dive podcast's second page banner. That's it.
We're just precision's tough.
Directionally correct.
I was talking to Cal about that when we were doing some golf stuff, and I'm like, in the end, we're fucking guessing here. I'm like, you just gotta. I mean, because we're going over, the most likely place a golfer would win out of these 3 tournaments from here until the end. So you just got to put some fucking percentages on these 3 and see which one you think is the highest, and that's where this guy goes for one and done. Like, because we're
Do you guys have an okay one and done on Masters?
We use Reed. It was looking really good. His weekend was pretty weak. It would have been nice to. Yeah. I didn't know what to do with Rory. I said it on the show with you. I said it on the show with Noonan. He might not give a fuck because he's got it, or he might be playing loose, or I think he cheated. It was cool to see him get the Grand Slam this year.
Well, he didn't cheat it. They cheated on behalf of him with the way that they did those conditions on Friday afternoon.
Well, no, this was the first Masters win for him with a conforming driver. I don't count last year's. So I'm giving him the career Grand Slam this year because that actually was a legal club in his bag this year. So congrats to Rory. The Masters was fun. And you remember my prop, the 275.5?
Easy money.
Just needed him to hook it into the woods on the final hole.
Easy money. Yeah, I ended up small up in our calc.
I was gonna say I looked at your list of players on like Saturday. I'm like, you got some guys in the mix.
You know who?
Henley was good.
You know what swung us positive? Henley playing like a god on Sunday was awesome. But what swung us positive was that 16th green, that 16th birdie putt by Burns. Oh, that thing was that was monstrous for kind of putting him in a better tier of payout.
And you got a value in Morikawa.
Well, yeah, because he played all 4 rounds and he was great. Yeah, he was great. He was a positive. Anyway, the reality of the Eastern Conference is it's inferior. There's not a lot of gap separating the Celtics from the Pistons and Cavs.
I was going to say, what is your percentage?
There's not a lot of gap separating the Pistons and the Cavs from the Knicks.
I was going to say, what's your percentage chance?
Final Four likely.
What's your percentage chance of the finals representative from the East being, Knicks, Hawks, Hornets, what have you, and anyone but Celtics, Cavs, Pistons?
Well, my Knicks likelihood.
What's your Knicks? Basically, what's your Knicks number?
It's kind of high. Knicks for me are.
Get some Knicks fans. I think they'll be excited. Knicks fans are
plus.
They're always excited.
I'm a plus.
Sure, this team
plus 550 for the Knicks. For me, so that's a 20, little under the 20% chance, 19% chance, right?
Yeah, market's a little longer, and then there's a cliff there. Hawks, Hornets, everyone else is like 25 or better.
Really, if we're on the yes no, I'm on the no for the Cavs. I'm on a small yes for the Celtics at price. I'm on a small yes for the Pistons, and I'm on a small no for the Knicks. But it's not my much. I guess kind of a more fun kind of commentary. Those 4 not being our final 4 in the East would surprise me. I think Toronto can get a little physical and a little nasty with the Knicks, but winning that series I think is very unlikely. The Hawks I think could cover some games against the Knicks, especially if the spreads are going to be this big. I think those totals are going to go flying over, but I think the Knicks come through 4-1. If the Sixers win a game against the Celtics, then hat tip to the Sixers, but upset doesn't feel very likely. And then I'm pretty curious to see what Hornets Pistons price would look like. I don't think the Hornets are worth betting, but I'm kind of wondering if the market's going to open low.
Is it going to be close to Cleveland, Toronto, or like 5?
It should be.
Like I was thinking, like minus 500.
It should be, but it might be like 300 or something. Like that one might be one that I stare at a lot.
A parlay of those 4 is going to be like plus 110.
Kind of what I was thinking too.
I was going to say I need some action.
Play the Eastern Conference.
Because
What is
I plugged in Celtics, Cavs, Knicks.
what's that?
And
Minus 130-ish?
125.
Minus 125. Okay.
Granted, just at one book, shop around. But if you throw in another 500, it's. I mean, I could just pick another here. I'll take the Rockets. I add the Rockets. It gets me to plus 111. Rockets are minus 575. So probably it'll be a little better than even money, I would think.
Wow, 121, really? Huh. That's a pretty good price. Or 125, you said?
Yeah.
Oh.
I might play that too.
I'm on the other side of that for sure. I would lay those if you can get, and add the Pistons to the mix once we know. The problem is if it's Pistons Magic for some reason, which could, I mean, who knows? Magic and the Hornets are absolutely manic. But if it's Pistons Magic, then that series market might be like minus 2,000. I don't think anyone's betting the Magic with their worst enemies money right now. So, yeah, might not get much by waiting. That said, I think I think Celtics through 4-0, Knicks through 4-1, Cavs through 4-2, we'll say. And I mean, the Cavs series is the one that you got to pay most attention to because, number one, I don't think it's very obvious who their closing five is. Like, I know four of them. Maybe I really only know three of them. I'm kind of curious to see if they close with Jared Allen on the floor, and I'm curious to see who the fifth Beatle is there. So Cavs have a little bit of figuring stuff out to do, I think. And also the Raptors, I'm assuming, are going to be super physical. They play amazingly good defense. Their offense has question marks, to put it politely, but I'm not calling for an upset in that series, but I'm not quite where market is on that series price, just neutrally. So
I want to, just because this has been bouncing around my brain, I need to bounce back to golf for 1 second.
Okay.
Did you see the news yesterday that the Live was having the whole thing and it was possibly going to shut down? And then all the executives it had an emergency meeting in New York, and then at the end of the day they're like, "No, everything's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. The emergency meeting was for nothing. We're going to go on. The event's going to happen like it's going to happen." So there's zero coverage of this event. The coverage.
Do you think they're fake playing?
Well, that's the thing. So there's scores on the website saying here's where the golfers are and here's what they're scoring, but they're down due to technical difficulties. So you can't actually watch this golf. No one is sure that it's actually happening. It could
Are
be
there
a real
fans there?
Wag. I don't know. It's in Mexico. I'm sure that I mean it's a good. I love a good conspiracy theory that has very little actual bearing on the universe. It would be very funny if it was a fun wag the dog situation. I think they're probably playing golf, but we are monitoring the situation. I'm going to play that parlay. I'm going to play Celtics, Cavs, Knicks, Pistons, and then I might just play one without it doesn't matter. The Celtics aren't fucking losing. So I said the Celtics aren't adding much to that parlay, but what's the point of taking them out? They're not losing that series. Again, on the other side of things, like you mentioned the Timberwolves, but are you less excited about betting the West because it's just in your mind a little more foregone? And I mean, did you look at those? Did you look at those series prices at least and say, honestly, we should just talk about the Rockets Lakers one because that's the interesting one. Spurs are gonna thunderfuck.
Are they? I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not there. Spurs are minus 2,000 in that series. That is a little bit disrespectful.
Playoff inexperience. You can throw that out there, I guess, but still, they're a way better team.
Yeah, I have, again, now that I'm a prediction market aficionado, I have an inclination to buy some contracts on the Portland Trail Blazers, see if they can get to 2-1 in the series and then unload them because the inexperience is a thing. Absolutely. And also they have number one, they have a superstar budding in Denny Avdia, and number two, they have big bodies they can try to throw at Wemby. They got a bunch of guys that they have a bunch of guys that they can try to muck things up with. And maybe ultimately it doesn't manifest in a series win, but dragging that thing out to like 4-2 feels possible. So, yeah, I'm higher on the Blazers than the market in that one. And maybe it's just because I'm lower on the Spurs than the market, and I have been for a while. I don't know. And yeah, I guess a ton of it. You know what? Here's kind of the key point. You ready, Andy?
Yes.
What's the difference between pricing a full effort regular season team from a playoff team? It has to do with minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say you're relying on starters more.
Minutes distribution is different.
Yeah.
The number of players, how deep you're going to your bench, how many minutes your bench players absorb, all of that is different, right? How many minutes can you really play Wemby? You really gonna go 35 with him?
Maybe not in the first round.
Which is to
say, you know what I mean?
Does San Antonio get any kind of bump for play? Because the reality is every team should get a playoff team should get a bump because the minutes and the usage are going to concentrate on the best players.
Yeah,
and the best players, particularly the vets, like your player rating should get a bump, right? Like Jokic's
here's the
rating, SGA's rating should get a bump.
Do you actually do that with the Thunder because they're so deep? Do they need to do that bump?
Well, that's kind of the interesting part about pricing the Thunder is that you're literally like you're throwing good out of the pool here, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the diminishing returns of playing the starters extra when the 6th, 7th, and 8th guy are that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do anything with like coaching, foul use? You know what I mean by foul usage? Like,
yeah, sure. I don't. Does it soft qualitative kind of intangible stuff. Surely, yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. No. Hey,
I see guys play that in college basketball. I think it matters a little more in college.
Let's take a giant step backwards.
Yes.
Why would I have an opinion that the Hawks could and should cover a couple of these games against the Knicks, but ultimately lose 4-1? They have a problem in that they only have one good big player. And that guy is going to face a double big lineup, a good amount. Because Mike Brown is not a dummy. He is a very, very he's a bad motivator at times, but he is a very sophisticated X's and O's type of guy. And the idea that he is not salivating at having his double big lineup go up against this Hawks team, that this is just an absolute beauty of a matchup for them. The Hawks have some positives as well, obviously, in that they have some solid defensive, point of attack defenders that can match up with Brunson. But I don't think it's going to matter. Cat and Mitchell Robinson on the floor together against Okongwu. Okongwu is a great young player. He does not have enough help. He does not have enough support. And the games in the Garden, particularly him getting into foul trouble, feels real. And at that point, it's just like, okay, this thing's over. Like you're not defending them because they only have one guy. Does that make sense? Is that kind of what you were talking about? Which is like, as I look at how that series will play out and the likely game, like the likely game state, to me, a game state where Okongwu is in foul trouble feels likely because of what New York was likely to do. And in that game state, like the Hawks are an afterthought.
I almost gotta put a pin in that because I got another branch to go with that. But I just had a trivia. How many NBA titles does Mike Brown have as a coach? Fun trivia. Bonus points if you can name the teams.
Shit. As a coach.
I
was wondering if there was
assistant coach.
No, I know. As assistant coach for sure.
Yes, he obviously. Yeah.
I didn't know if Mike Brown played it at some point, and he was weirdly like on a championship team that I just didn't know about because I wasn't following the NBA then.
He's not that tall.
He did not win. Well, he's not that tall, but I think he played. I don't know. Anyway, Mike Brown won with the Cavs. He won with the Warriors twice, so I'm going to say 3.
4?
Oh.
I did not win with the Cavs.
He didn't?
I don't think so.
Oh. Okay. They were Eastern Conference champions in 2006, and then they lost in the finals, I guess.
Yeah. He won with the Spurs, 3 with the Golden State Warriors as the
He won
associate.
with the Spurs as an okay. So all 4 of
Yes.
his were
And
as an
and by
assistant.
this was
Okay.
and Spurs is like Tim Duncan years, like right around the millennium, I believe, is when he was with the Spurs.
I didn't remember he was on that assistant coach for the first Golden State Warriors team. I thought he was somewhere else then.
2016 through 2022.
Oh, so so he was on the last one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before,
I really didn't.
Before he went to the Kings.
Okay. That's why I was off then. Okay. Well, fascinating. Good on my friend.
So you had a negative. Honestly, a lot of people don't know this about player props. You can bet the under on previously mentioned big man whose name I can't remember.
Okongwu.
I know you don't do a lot with player props, but it's lucrative, especially if you have the time and the outs. Like, do you have anything else like that? I'm sure people, you know what people love? People love an actionable angle. And if you have any other matchups like that, where it's like, hey, this guy's going to have he's going to have outsized minutes and he has a plus matchup or a negative. I like an under. I love cheering for fouls. Hey, get this guy out of there. Get him out of there. Save him for the second half.
Well, I mentioned I think Hawks Knicks is going to be a higher scoring game. I think both teams are pretty good offensive rebounders, and if the Knicks are not shooting well, then the transition game for the Hawks becomes a factor. I know those probably contrary sounding points, but I think basically it's like every missed basket by the Knicks is either an offensive rebound, easy putback, or it's a long rebound start of a transition, easy bucket for the Hawks. So how would that manifest as an angle, you think? Some of the we're probably talking about like Hart rebounds over. We're probably talking about transition. Yeah, I mean, actually, here's another one. Like, I've heard a lot of people kind of bemoaning that the Knicks are just gonna like put away the Hawks in the clutch because the Hawks don't really have any clutch guys. Jalen Johnson is an excellent clutch player. That'll be fascinating to see if they have any answer to stop him. I don't think they will. But Jalen Johnson should score at will in this series. He should have a huge series. CJ McCollum under, because there may be a point where they just can't keep him on the floor. Does that like that's kind of the actionable angle I feel like you're looking for more than anything, which is like McCollum under points because instead of having 30 minutes a game, he has 15. Like
I mean, yeah, it can be. I mean,
everybody kind of assumes that he's going to be on the floor for crunch time, and I'm not sure about that because he is such a minus getting switched on to Brunson. Like, you can't hide him on defense.
Well, and that's the thing too on some of these. If you have an angle like this, they will adjust. And you're right, and you don't bet it. They will adjust from one game to
but if you're playing a series thing,
they're going to adjust from game 1 to game 2. But they usually, sometimes, they have to kind of anchor it still with where they started. Mm-hmm. They can't go nuts and drop a guy's point total from 23 to 16 overnight. So you probably get a couple of bites at the apple if you think you're right and you are right.
I have a suspicion that Emmanuel Quickly is going to be just fine and is going to be an impact in the Cavs series. He matches up pretty well and should have an opportunity to do some damage. That's not based on any type of inside information. It's literally just, I feel like they have been keeping him protected. And he is, so his points, assists type of angle of attack. He is their second best ball handler after Barnes, and he is their second best offensive player by my numbers. That'll be interesting to see if he's available and how good he plays. In the Nuggets Timberwolves series, the guy that matters probably the most is Jaden McDaniels, I think. His matchup is really, really solid, and I don't ultimately know that they're winning more than one game in that series unless he is on it offensively. So McDaniel's number is probably lower than it ought to be.
Fuck.
What? Did you get hurt?
I love going to the playoff games. That's a lot of fun. The atmosphere's great. Target Center's great. But because it's the Nuggets, we're the late game. So the game starts at even the home game, game 3, 8:30 local time. I'm too washed for that. What about game 5? So the Saturday game, which will be more expensive because it's Saturday, that starts at 7:30. Maybe that's an option.
You know who looks pretty washed right now for your team, Timberwolves, is Julius Randle. Rudy's fine. If Julie, I can see a world where Julius Randle's not on the court as much as people think, because they're like, fuck it, we'll go with Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson. Yeah, that's definitely a world. Like the depth for the Timberwolves is spooky. I gotta tell you, their second unit has some question marks. Yeah, no, it's a good concept of trying to come up with potential under looks for players who could get played off the court. Steven Adams, you remember that one was always a fun one where it was like 2 games into the series and you're like, Steven Adams can't be out there. He's done. Like he can't be out.
I know this is a fun thing maybe to revisit on like Tuesday.
There's probably a couple players
about, like here's what we're seeing.
Yeah, right. Like, hey, these guys.
Like, maybe we'll touch base on this before we get into draft stuff on.
Yeah. What adjustments after we go from the first 2 home games are all in the books for the higher seeds or for the lower seeds, I guess. How do you consider that? The 1, 2, 3, or 4 are lower numbers, but are they the higher seeds? I think that's higher seeds, right?
Lower is a smaller number to me. I've always said like the 1 seed is the
highest.
I know, but it feels backwards, doesn't it?
It does.
The higher, because you're
top seed. They're the top.
You would
number
consider
1 seed.
yourself highly seeded,
Yes.
if you were the top seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
The first 2 homies are going to be in the books, and they'll be switching venues, which is always the most fun time to bet the NBA playoffs.
That's what I love. I want to go to
here
game
comes
3.
the zag. Yes, that's oh my god, this team is +3 for the game, but they're -1 in the first half. What's going on?
Yeah, it feels like if I get to a game, it'll be that late Thursday night game, because it feels like a 52-point triple-double Anthony Edwards game.
Oh, sure.
As the Timberwolves, lose 4-1 2 days later.
I'm pretty fascinated.
5 days later,
we gotta see what Denver's defense looks like against Minnesota, because that's gonna affect my price big time for Spurs Nuggets. As of right now, the market seems to think that's going to be like a -300-ish type of series price, which I can't square.
That's kind of my last one that I had written down was SGA. Pick your injury from the Homer at the Bat episode of The Simpsons. He falls down the hole. He's arrested. He gets giantism. He can't play. He's not in the game. Remember Daryl Strawberry? He got giantism. God, what was the one when the guy Steve Sachs maybe arrested for a lot of unsolved murders in New York? You're from New York, huh? Like you're coming with us, buddy. Either way, he's out. He's out for the playoffs. SGA's done. They're still favored probably to win the West. Maybe not by much.
Hold up. I'll tell you exactly.
I was gonna say, what's your move?
Oh man, I still have them.
You didn't seem super keen.
I do still have them favored over San Antonio.
But you don't seem keen on San Antonio either.
I think that the normal expectation of a superstar getting an upgrade in the playoffs, I need to see it to believe it with Wemby. And I think his minutes are going to maybe go up a hair, but not to the degree that it's meaningfully different from his regular season type of impact on a team rating. And I think that there are a lot of young players who could ultimately have a little bit of playoff yips on that squad, and they might not be as dynamic of a team overall as the market's currently pricing them, which would open the door for whoever wins Nuggets Timberwolves. And Nuggets are the more likely team, clearly. Forget what my Nuggets number was. I might have dinked it up because I was screwing with minutes guessing, but yeah, I mean, I have the Nuggets at like 290, so they're probably coming through. And if Wemby gets hurt, if Wemby gets just out, if he's just dealing with the physicality of the playoffs and can't handle it, and or if his minutes and upgrade just doesn't ever manifest, then I absolutely can see a world where Denver is the road small chalk against an SGA-less OKC in the Western Conference Finals. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Wemby's been to the playoffs
in
France,
Olympic basketball. He was in the gold medal game, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Was that the semifinals?
The Metropolitan 92s went to the finals.
They did? Wow.
This is not. Yeah, I'm not worried. He's played in the playoffs before as a 15-year-old. Jesus. Nantier. I feel like I got to give that a little softer. Nantier.
Okay, I'm there.
The 2019 season. How old was this kid?
Is Nantier Nantes?
Nanterre. So he was born in 2004, and he started playing on this team in 2019. So he was just like an 8th grader, just playing professional basketball in Europe. Fucking A. I suppose you're that big. That's how things work. Yes, and Charles, we are just going full Kelly on the Thunder.
Don't think it should ruin your spring if they don't win, because again, I think it should be odds on, but not that short. But yeah, it's not worth talking about Rockets Lakers, because actually I will mention one thing. There's Lakers support out there, and some people we know who usually have very interesting and or very correct info. Did you freeze? Oh no, there you are. You weren't blinking. I was freaking out. Like, whoa. Some people we know who have very good info were asking questions like, what's your Lakers number with Luke, out of curiosity? I was like, why would you ask that?
Do you want to cross?
And I was like, oh. Maybe he comes back. Yeah. Why would you ask that? But that said, the type of injury he sustained, a grade 2 hamstring, that's a month long out. And then you ramp up and then you play. The idea of him coming back before May 10th to me is pretty unlikely in my opinion. So we'll see.
When we saw reports, it's like, what if they're down 0-2? It's like, is that where you really pull the ripcord on the injured players and be like,
yeah,
all right, now we're gonna no, now you're fucked.
And going hard to the wall against a team without Luka and Austin Reeves would be more fun if it wasn't the Rockets, because the Rockets offense is going to the dentist. It's hard. It's tough. It sucks. It's no one really enjoys it that much. The Lakers offense is really, really, really poorly rated for me as far as a playoff offense without Luka and Reeves, but their defense is probably gonna be a little bit better. So first to 100 wins kind of vibes in LA. That total's probably higher than 200, right?
I haven't looked at game 1 prices at all. That one is sitting at 206.5.
Yeah, so about 3 points too high. Boston's a little bit too high at 12.5. That's
highest total on the board is
Minnesota Denver.
Yeah, by some bit, by about 10 points.
Expecting a fun one there. Well, I mean, the Denver's, I think, technically the worst defense in the playoffs. Am I forgetting someone? I don't think so. I think Denver's the worst defense in the playoffs. Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's see here. I don't really have anything else. Should be fun.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll revisit this next Wednesday. We'll spend 10, 15 minutes on it before we get into draft stuff. And we'll talk about like adjustments you're seeing and maybe there's some player stuff we can go over. It's fun.
I love it. I love that.
I'm going to bet that parlay. I'm going to probably take some PGA Championship futures and parlay them with the Thunder. And I'm going to take some US Open futures and parlay them with the Thunder. And be really mad if those guys win those golf tournaments and the Thunder somehow screw this up.
What's your PGA early look?
I don't know. I haven't decided. It's in Philly, or it's in Philly. It's in Pennsylvania.
Where?
God, I'm trying to think exactly where this is because it's not like by. I think it is by Philly. It's Philly adjacent.
I know the U.S. Open is out on Long Island, or out in the Hamptons.
Oh, it is. It is. So I thought this was further from the city. I thought this was closer to like Harrisburg, but it is right in the Philly suburbs here.
What's it
so
called?
We're in the tri-state area. Aronimink.
Don't know anything about it.
It's been a while. It's been a while. They played there in like 2018. They played a BMW there. It's been a hot minute since they've played.
Okay.
Good course. The US Open, the US Open's going to be good, and the Open is of course it's in the United Kingdom.
Where?
I'm trying to think of it. The Open Championship 2026. This is. I get so focused on what's right at Royal Brookdale.
Oh, of course.
I love when they.
Way up there. It's barely in the United
is,
Kingdom, or barely in the barely in England, right?
It is Merseyside.
Merseyside.
So you're talking Liverpool-ish, I think.
Sure.
Isn't that the Merseyside Derby? Is Liverpool?
I think it is. Yeah.
And the Toffees.
Yes.
Southport.
Yes.
Just north of Liverpool.
Yes. Merseyside, based around the core county boroughs of Liverpool, Bootle, Birkenhead, and Wallasey. It's fun. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, enjoy the start to the playoffs, and looking forward to talking.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll talk some NFL. We'll talk some NBA. We'll talk some Zurich Classic, worst tournament ever. It's the team one where you play with a partner.
Oh,
it's just not as fun to bet.
No fun. What does Rory need for the double career slam?
Another Masters. No,